been quite the journey I've had over the last few months. In my Motorola Razr 40 review, I mentioned the fact that my first experience of a flip phone was actually quite poor and it had put me off the form factor. But after trying the Razr 40, I realised it was just that, the wrong brand. There's a lot that I liked about that phone, but the Razr 40 Ultra, that takes things to a whole new level. So everything that was great on the Razr 40 has been improved upon here. This phone packs a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 that helps deliver true flagship level performance, and then that's coupled with 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and an even smoother 165Hz POLED display. The most noticeable difference going from the Razr 40 to the Ultra is the outside screen. This screen is much bigger, and it's a 144Hz AMOLED display. So it feels just as good as using any other phone display. It's fantastic. One situation where I find this particularly useful was when I was in London and using Google Maps to navigate around. Just had the maps on the outside screen, hold it in my hand all closed up. Gotta be careful in London. And it worked a treat. It was really, really nice to use instead of having to use the full display. And that's what I like about the outer screen on these flip phones, especially with that slightly large display. Slightly larger, it's quite a lot larger. But it allows you to do some things without having to open the phone up. It sort of keeps you focused on that task, and then once you've done that, the phone's back in your pocket. Now, of course, another advantage of the outer screen is using the cameras. And with the Razr 40, it was fairly easy to take photos and videos, but with the 40 Ultra, even easier, because you can use that entire outer screen as a viewfinder for your video, your photos. I mean, why use an average selfie camera on the inside when you can use the main cameras as your selfie cam? It's great. Not that I'm one for taking many selfies, I'll admit, but I know there's those of you out there that are. But I have to say, like, it did sort of cause me to take more selfies and record more video of myself, because I found it more enjoyable than just using the selfie cam on a slab phone. It's a wonderful day to test out the rear cameras of the Moto Razr 40 Ultra. This is actually running in 4K 60, so let me know what you think. It's kind of weird keeping it in the viewfinder, just trying to keep things sort of stabilized. 4K 30 now, as you can see. It's not cropped quite as much, but this is my preferred showing solution anyway. Great thing about this though, with it being in 4K 30, you can actually switch the lenses now. Let me know how the microphones sound, because yeah, we're not using any wireless mic kit or anything here, so it's just straight out of the camera. There's not too much noise about. Got some cars going past, but pretty settled day so far. Thunderstorms later though, can't wait. And I'd be interested to hear from you if you use a flip phone, what your experience has been if you've had a similar sort of situation. Speaking of cameras, they are a little bit of an upgrade over the cameras that are on the Razr 40. You definitely can get better images, video, everything else, but they are still basically a mid-range camera setup. In fact, there's a lot of mid-range phones that would have better cameras. If you are using it for selfies, selfie video, that sort of stuff, is fantastic. If you're using it for other photography, general photography, it will be fine. Autofocus is pretty good. The Pro mode that's in there is actually very, very good as well. So if you want to get a little bit more creative, maybe take a RAW file, edit your photos, that sort of thing, you can actually make some great images. You can really make take some great photos, and you'll have no problem with it. One thing that I found particularly impressive with it as well was the shutter speed, and I was able to take some photos of Ripley, who's my mother-in-law's dog, and he's absolutely rapid. He's moving around all the time, absolute mad lad. But I actually took some photos on the Razr 40 Ultra that genuinely surprised me. I actually thought they'd come out a total blur, and they were crisp and clear. And even in the portrait mode, this was the case. I was actually very surprised, and that's a very big bonus for a camera system, because the number of photos that I take on other phones, even flagship phones, where the slightest bit of movement means a blurry picture, very happy. One thing I was actually worried about going to the 40 Ultra was battery life, because obviously we've gone from the Razr 40, which used a mid-range processor, mid-range SoC, and we've gone to a Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which is a flagship level SoC. It's a couple of years old now, but it's still very powerful. And I was worried about battery life, but I have to say, battery life was pretty good. I do think the LTPO display does a really good job of keeping power usage to a minimum. But for the fact that it's a 3800 milliamp hour battery, I thought I was going to have severe battery anxiety, but I just didn't. It was very respectable. And if you're not like me, where you're on your phone all the time, you're going to get even more out of it. So getting a day out of it should be no problem whatsoever. On to the basic things: call quality, signal strength, all excellent, no problems whatsoever. Fingerprint reader, same as on the Razr 40, it's built into the power button. It's my preferred type of fingerprint reader. It's fast, accurate, and it's just perfect because you can literally open your phone before you've even taken the phone out of your pocket. And can we just get on to the color? I mean, this Viva Magenta Pantone color, holy God. Wow. See, I'm one of these people. I know there's going to be you guys that are going to be like, well, I just like black phones or white phones, like keeping it really basic. I like bright colors. I'm one of the guys that loved Nokia Lumias and the colors they used to give us. So whenever there's a phone with a bright color, I have to go for it. I have to. And I was determined when I got this review sample that I got this Viva Magenta, and my God, it's so nice. It's so nice. I am one of these people that gets excited about the colors. I know it's probably quite sad, but I like bright colors. What can I say? I'm a child. See? I mean, it has to be one of the best colors I've seen on a phone, to be honest. And I did notice quite a few people looking at the phone, which, you know, I think it does grab people's attention. So like, oh, what's that? So yeah, maybe it's not the most manly color, but I don't care. I'd happily rock it. So could I see myself running this as a daily driver? And the answer is yes. Now, if you want better performance, you want better cameras, you want an even bigger outer display, better battery life, the 50 Ultra is definitely going to be an improvement. However, it will cost you hundreds more. At the moment, you can get the Razr 40 Ultra for around £650, which I think is around a similar price to what the standard Razr 50 will be. I actually think the Razr 40 Ultra, if you can get it at a good price, will be a better buy than the standard Razr 50, unless, like me, you really, really want that orange color. Oh my God. Can I just say, Motorola, killing it with the colors. Please carry on. I'll forever want your phones just for those colors. The orange is amazing. I'm very eager to get the Razr 50 Ultra. I can honestly see something like that being my daily driver phone because I enjoy using the 40 Ultra that much, and the camera upgrades on the 50 Ultra to my liking because you get a zoom lens instead of an ultra wide lens. Fantastic, great decision. But the Razr 40 Ultra is still one hell of a buy, and I can heartily recommend it. Definitely look at that over maybe the standard Razr 50. The only negative that I have for the Razr 40 Ultra, but this kind of applies to a lot of Motorola phones, the software updates need to get more frequent. They need to be on point with these, especially when it comes to OS updates. I think the Razr 40 Ultra has just been upgraded to Android 14, and it's July, and we're very close to getting Android 15. I think these updates need to come sooner. For instance, we have the Edge 50 Pro here, and this is, security patch wise, it's still on March. You know, we definitely need more frequent updates. That's probably it's just the one area that Motorola is lacking in, because the actual software is fantastic. The software features, awesome. I love it. It's up there in my top 2 in terms of OS skins. So they're doing a great job. They can do a slightly better job. Once they get the software updates side of things sorted, it's going to be hard not to recommend. Razr 40 Ultra, excellent. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay grounded. I'll see you all on the next one.